Hello, welcome back to Oops All Archers FE8. Today is the final episode where we're going to be doing both Chapter 20, Darkling Woods, and then both parts of the finale. Right now, I am just quickly doing some inventory management, getting people items that they might need for potential clear, and realizing that since I want to buy something from the shop, I need to go to a skirmish because I'm boxed in. Of course, though, we're not going to actually be doing anything here. The relevant item is a Slim Lance, here from eDay, which we're going to buy for Gilliam, our resident boss killer. This is just a section where I thought to myself, oh, how much money could I make if I were to sell all of the important things? Then I got bored. Anyway, now we're able to just head straight into the map. Chapter 20 is the big monster map which has over 100 reinforcements if you decide to let them all play out. Obviously we're not going to do that. We simply are going to undeploy anyone who is not a flyer, not Dusel, because even Dusel is negotiable, and not Natasha. Specifically we only need 5 flyers, so I believe that I'm about to undeploy Cyrene once everyone else is in vague position. Yeah, there we go. Undeployed Serene. That looks once again like everything, so let's go. So this cannot be a one-turn clear because I don't have multiple warpers and I don't have a dancer. However, what it can be is a 2-turn clear. First of all, we have Kyle and Cormag collaborate to drop EPHRAIM to position where next turn he can be warped. The way that we achieve this is by having Gilliam do a bunch of our killing. We're just having him kill this Javelin enemy because even though Javelin enemy can't harm Gilliam, he could probably harm a good fair number of my other units, the most important one to not be injured being Natasha, who Garrick and Vanessa are now going to collaborate to drop her directly next to EPHRAIM. She doesn't have to be directly next to EPHRAIM, she can be within a range of tiles above and below her. This is just ultimately the most convenient thing to do. A lot of enemies die on Gilliam. I once again set down the steel bow hit to 0 because of all the flyers that are obviously needed for this 2-turn. Natasha just warps EPHRAIM over the way. And I didn't need to do it with the Slim Lance. In fact, we needed the crits in order to kill with the Slim Lance. But it worked. I didn't edit the Slim Lance at this point. I do for the clear later on, though. And we just seize with EPHRAIM. Now we immediately head on to the finale. At this point, I did not remember whether or not you needed to have already chosen who you're deploying both here and in the second part of the finale. So that's why I'm undeploying anyone who I don't think would be useful for the clear at all. of either map. That's also why Tethys is here right now. I don't think it's going to be a surprise to anyone to hear that once again our killer is going to be Gilliam, the goat. For this one, he needs to have a longbow. Originally, the idea for this map was that I was going to have Larshel be the one to kill Leon/Takumi, but it turns out the weapon that Leon/Takumi has equipped negates criticals, just like the Hopon God, meaning that we need someone who can actually do enough damage, which Larshel cannot without crits. We just have Tethys, Rally Spectrum, we have Cormag, Rally Strength on Gilliam. We reposition Gilliam forward by one, and Natasha warps him. She gets a level up that most certainly does not matter at this stage. So yeah, as proof that the Skadi has the Hopper God effect, this longbow I've set to 100 crit. And you'll see that it's 100 displayed with everything else, but 0 here. Yeah, even with all of those rallies, Gilliam is slightly short of being able to actually get a kill on one player phase. However, we don't just have one player phase. Yeah, I was right that your positioning for this part is dependent on where people already are. In order for the kill that Phone suggested, we need to have Gilliam fully rallied, so that includes by both Tethys for Rally Spectrum and Cormag for Rally Strength. Kyle also needs to be part of this clear due to spare attack. He can't get far enough on his own, so we just use up the last use of the warp stuff that we still have remaining. And because Gilliam has the boots, he is able to move as far as he needs to. Anyway, right now he's 31 strength due to all the rallies. The Slim Lance has 4 might, but EPHRAIM's personal provides +2 damage, and Kyle's provides +4 physical damage, meaning that we're able to get to 41 attack with the Slim Lance. And therefore meaning that with our 100% proc Luna and the guaranteed crit, Fomortiis is killed in one shot by a Slim Lance. If I were to do this with, for instance, an Iron Bow, I don't think I would need to warp Kyle, because he's off by 1 tile exactly. And obviously Gilliam doesn't have to move quite as far with the Iron Bow. And that's it. The run is indeed over. This was version 1.0 of the LTC, so there are already some improvements that I've identified I could make. First of all, actually making sure that I do the prologue in 1 turn instead of 2. Training Colm was also entirely unnecessary, because I couldn't steal the energy ring anyway, and it looks like getting Garcia to Ranger didn't really help save any turns. As a result, it might be possible to train Lute instead as the potential warper instead of Natasha. This is because, as her personal skill, she has Discipline for doubled weapon experience, so if I were able to get her to Paladin for D-staves, then it's possible I could save some turns. Still, I don't know how exactly that all works out. I could also have saved a turn in 5X if I had remembered about the existence of the Shaman, and therefore had Ford actually kill him, rather than using him as bait for getting more experience on Kyle, but that obviously depends on how tight getting Kyle experience for promotion is. Ignore the bugged turn count there. For some reason, Oops All Archers Evolved doesn't seem to like displaying chapters beyond 17. In fact, this was a 78 turn in this file and would be 77 with the updated prologue. I've identified at least that it's still worth recruiting Cormag in 10B even in a non-full recruitment context. This is because he is needed for the 5 turn of Phantom Ship and the 2 turn of Floorspar's Oath, meaning that overall recruiting him saves 1 turn over not having recruited him. Recruiting Renak on 14B is something that I would not necessarily do in a non-recruitment context, as this would allow you to have the 4 turn with La Rochelle. Mind, especially if I were to stick with Natasha, I'm not entirely sure if the staff weapon experience works out for it, because the extra barrier turn means that without any further staff weapon experience optimizations, I was able to get her to exactly 134 at the end of 15, meaning that 2 uses of Hermern got her perfectly to warp rank. I would like to give special thanks to Danny Doyle, who was the person who actually gave me the confidence at all to record and upload these videos to YouTube. I would like to also give massive thanks to Phones for the desert item help. Doing all the stuff in 15 took a while to sort out. I'd also like to thank Actual Lizard for the early prologue correction and for letting me have a place to talk about the LTC in their Discord, in addition to everyone actually in the Discord who listened to me complain about the very annoying chapters, those being especially 9B, Fort Rigwald, and Chapter 18, the Egg Map. Although he wasn't involved in the creation of any of these videos, I would also like to give a huge thank out to Ch20, whose FE8 100% Growths EPHRAIM Route LTC video I did refer to the turn counts for my turn flaws, even though I didn't actually watch the videos. And last of all, I would like to give you big thanks for watching. I really hope that you've enjoyed this series. I enjoyed both the planning and recording process a lot, so I really appreciate the support from everyone who's watched the videos, commented, and subscribed to the channel. I do have some other potential ideas for future videos and series that I could make, so if you've enjoyed this series, please do subscribe, and I really hope to see you again next time. Thank you again, and have a good one.